What is going on, everybody? I am Rob Westerman, the third of GBP Daily, and thank you for tuning in to the Rob Westerman Show. You can find me all over social media at GBP Daily. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video, throw a comment down in the comments section. I'd really appreciate it. The chat is already firing up. I will get to you guys in just a second, I promise. It is Tuesday, October 1st, and we are just a few days removed from that right off the bat beatdown from the Vikings at our own field, Lambeau Field. But as the game went on, we showed some fight, crawled back in that thing all the way back just to fall short 31-29. We're sitting at 2-2. Vikes are still undefeated at 4-0. Jordan Love looked a little rusty during the first half of that game. Started to get hot in the second half. Braden Narvison, as we all know, missed 2 field goals, extending his streak to 4 straight games with a missed field goal. The pass rush was non-existent. No Jair out there, made for a rough game for our quarterbacks who were out there. A positive note out of that game, which there are plenty, believe it or not, just not enough to outweigh the negatives. Xavier McKinney had his 4th pick in as many games as he's been a Packer. An absolute home run signing by Brian Gutekunst to bring him in. Jaden Reed had a great game. He's had a great year. Dontavian Wicks, although he had a few drops, also had a good game. And I know he's going to bounce back next week. He got a lot of targets because he was open. And he'll get those drops figured out. And I know the ball placement wasn't the best heading his way. And Coach echoed that as much during his presser. And, yeah, so it was a tough one overall, being down 28-0 at one point. I was listening to Andy Herman the other day, and he had said we ran 14 offensive plays when the score was 28-0. So just tough sledding from the get-go. The whole game plan that I'm sure we had for the game was thrown out the window pretty early. Enough moping and doping around. Let's hop in the chat and see what's going on. How's everybody feeling after this past weekend? How's everybody feeling for this Rams game we got coming up on Sunday? Tuesdays are the days that I usually start to turn the page into the next week, and we'll hash out a little bit of thoughts from this past weekend, and then we'll move on to the Rams game, which I'm sure we're all looking forward to. Jesse starting us off hot. Rich Bisaccia needs to be held accountable. Subpar to terrible special teams units since he has arrived. Well, Jesse, this has been a topic of conversation over the last couple of years since he stuck with Amari Rodgers far too long back in the day. I will say, though, Daniel Whelan is our punter, having an outstanding start to the year. So it's not all bad on our special teams. Everything's not so doom and gloom in that area. Bo Melton got down there as a gunner this past Sunday to recover the muff punt the other day. And, yeah, Daniel Whelan let off a freaking bomb on that one. So shout out to Daniel Whelan. As far as the field goal unit goes, in the situation that we've got ourselves in, not sure exactly what to say about that one. It's been such a weird offseason. Obviously, Anders Carlson last year was not good. Held on to him all offseason and preseason just to cut him at cut downs. Got rid of Greg Joseph, which I hate to mention went 5 for 5 on kicks last week with the Giants. A couple of those coming from pretty deep too. Somehow he looks great after having a not so great preseason with us. And yeah, here we find ourselves with Braden Narvison, who struggled on Sunday. It seems like they're going to stick with him at least for the foreseeable future. Matt LaFleur, now he did say that he has faith in Braden and won't hesitate in putting him out there to hit field goals and whatnot. I'm not sure why, but I'm not sure what else he's supposed to say in that moment. I'm sure there's some conversations being had behind closed doors that aren't as uplifting as this comment there. Let me get in the chat here. I know Silisk is just going off in here. Excuse me. Excuse me. Salisk is in the chat. Rob, we need some help. What's going on? We need a new kicker. That's kind of where I'm stuck at. I'm not sure where to look. I know McManus kind of just got relieved of his investigation, and I'm not exactly sure his stats over the last few years. I'm sure they can't be much worse than what we're dealing with now. Maybe he's someone we can look for, but I'm not exactly sure where we'd go as far as kicker. Probably have to put some stock into getting one come our way. Caden, we have to get Jacobs involved early and stick to it. Caden, I thought that was a little interesting. You saw him sitting on the sidelines quite a bit this last weekend, and I'm not sure exactly why. I know Emmanuel Wilson has been doing really well, but we need Josh Jacobs in there. When he was getting the ball, he was doing good. So what else we got? Nick, where do you want to see Tay go? As long as it's not the Chiefs. A lot of Devontae conversations in here. And let me include this comment here from Newton, also talking about Devontae Adams. Newton says, Devontae to the Packers, ? And I say not so fast, Newton. I would say there's probably a 0.01% chance that Devontae finds himself back in Green Bay. If you guys haven't seen the news that just dropped a few minutes ago, Devontae did indeed tell the Raiders that he would prefer to be traded. I don't know if that is technically saying he's requesting a trade. I haven't looked into it a whole lot. My guess is that he ends up in the Jets uniform with our old buddy Aaron Rodgers. My second guess, Nick, your worst nightmare, and you saying hopefully it's not the Chiefs. My second guess would probably be the Chiefs. You know, with Hollywood Brown missing the year, and then this last weekend, Rashee Rice getting injured in what looks to be some sort of a longer-term injury. That's kind of where I would see Devontae going. I'm sure he's going to want to go to a situation where he knows for sure he's going to get a lot of targets. There's a somewhat competent quarterback back there throwing him the ball. That's my guess. First guess, Jets. Second guess, Chiefs. As far as Devontae, Nick, I'm sorry to tell you. Randall's in the chat. Hey, Rob, could we please get somebody who can kick and make 85% of his kicks? I know it's not a good time to find one, but somebody's got to be better than Narveson. It's been a bumpy ride with Braden Narveson. I was excited about the signing earlier, right at the end of this offseason, coming over from the Jets. He had a good preseason. I think he went 6 for 7 or 5 for 6, one of the two, and he had a pretty deep one. But yeah, he hasn't been the greatest of kickers. He also hasn't been the worst. I think he's tied for second as far as points goes for kickers. And I know he's been attempting a lot of field goals. That goes to show how our red zone offense is doing, or our offense in general on the other side of the field. Not the greatest. And he's made every one of his extra points. So that is a positive there. Yeah, not the best time to go out looking for a kicker. That's for sure. I do know somebody who is available. His jersey's sitting right up there in the corner. Number 2, Mason Crosby. Where are you at, my man? Where are you at? Randall, Pack 27, Rams 17. Go, Pack, go. This upcoming weekend should definitely be a Packers win. They don't have Cooper Kupp. They don't have Puka Nacua. Their offensive line is pretty injured. Their defense is not good. The fans in attendance out in LA should be, a pretty good amount of Packers fans. And yeah, definitely a game that we should win, and I think that we will win. So Randall, love that prediction. McManus is available. Just saying, yes, Phil, I did see that. I think yesterday, Brandon McManus, who was undergoing some sort of investigation. I haven't looked into it a whole lot. But he is available, and honestly, wouldn't surprise me if the Packers gave him a call to see what's going on. Nick, how do you think Jordan played? I wanted him out of the game at 28-0, but he looked more into shape the second half. Yeah, he looked, it's a cliche answer, but he looked like a guy who hadn't played for a couple of weeks, at least in that first half. Looked a little rusty. The leg overall, I know he was limping a couple times, but coach did say after the game that he was just a little sore, and that was about it. But the second half, he started to catch some fire and zip it around a little bit. Had some questionable throws, throwing it deep into coverage for some picks, red zone pick, a pick in the end zone. Not the sharpest of games, but man, for us to come back all the way to get within 2 points, we had a shot to win that game. It was just, we were down 28-22 with 10 minutes left. And unfortunately, our defense gives up a easiest drive ever that led to a field goal. One of those throwing catches was to Justin Jefferson, who was wide open. Not sure the thought behind leaving the best or one of the best wide receivers wide open on a drive that you just got to get out of the offense's hands and back into Jordan's hands. But interesting game plan there. But I thought Jordan looked pretty good considering the time he's missed, especially in the second half. Nick, thanks for hopping on. I appreciate you. Slizig, so Rob, do you think we can make it to the Super Bowl this year? Lot of season left, Slizig. Everything's on the table right now. Everything. We're 2-2. Vikes are sitting at the 1 seed right now for playoffs at 4-0. If they lose the next two and we win the next two, there we go. We're right back in the mix. And so there's a lot of 2-2 teams on the NFC side. A lot of teams looking a little weird. Eagles aren't looking very good. Cowboys snuck out a win on Thursday night. They haven't looked very good. It's so early. I'll always tell you that we can make it to the Super Bowl, but too early for that right now. But I appreciate you asking the question. I like it. What do we got? I know you just said it's unlikely, but would you welcome him back to Green Bay, or would you be upset over a reunion? Nick, I would absolutely love Devontae back in Green Bay. I know everyone doesn't want him back, or has said things. We don't need him. As our offense isn't a wide receiver one type offense, whatever. But had the chance to meet him a couple of years back, and one of my favorite players to watch was Devontae. And is he going to make our team better if he's on it? Absolutely. So that's kind of as far as I go for thoughts pertaining to him being back in the Packers. I think there's 0.01% chance that even happens. But to your question, would you be upset over a reunion, or would you welcome him back to Green Bay? I would absolutely welcome him back, and I would think he would do very well. Nick, thank you for hopping on. Mason, hello from Edmonton. Go Pack Go. Go Pack Go. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. Lot of comments in here. I love it. Marcus, Keyshawn Nixon is a kick returner, and that's it. Marcus, I like it. Nixon and Eric Stokes, who I'll throw in here, definitely struggled on Sunday against the Vikes, especially in coverage. Overall tallies, they allowed 11 catches on 16 targets for 170 yards, 1 touchdown, 7 first downs, and a 124.5 passer rating allowed against both of them. That is downright bad. And I do understand Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, who tore us up as well, was on the other side. But an absolute not good performance out of them on Sunday in coverage. But I don't know. I'm not going to harp on it too much. We're a couple days removed. But Marcus saying Keyshawn's a kick returner and that's it. Well, I read the stats off for you. They weren't that good. What else we got? Let's get the fact of the way here, shall we? The fact of the day brought to you by TickPick. They guarantee the lowest prices on Packers tickets, and even better, if you find tickets that are somehow cheaper than what they have them at, TickPick will give you 110% of your money back. If you want $20 off your next ticket order, use the code Packers20 at checkout for $20 off. That can only be used in the app. So download the app with the season underway. Packers20 for $20 off. The fact of the day, Packers safety, which was one of the hot spots or positive takeaways from this last Sunday. Xavier McKinney is the first Packers player in franchise history to have 4 interceptions in their first 4 games with the team. I said it earlier, an absolute home run of a signing, and is very well on his way to becoming one of the best free agent signings in our history. I love watching him play out there, especially along Javon Bullard. He's been coming out a little bit too. Absolutely love me some Xavier McKinney. Big shout out to TickPick. As I said earlier, Packers 20 is the code. Packers 20 for $20 off your ticket order. They got the cheapest tickets out there, guaranteed. And as I said earlier, if you find cheaper tickets elsewhere after the fact, they'll give you 110% of your money back. Check them out. Download the app. Packers 20 for $20 off. Baltimore loves Adams back with Green Bay Packers. Daryl, not exactly sure what your comment is saying, but yeah, go Pack, go. Thank you, Daryl, for hopping on over on Facebook. What else we got? Tristan, I am not sold on this defense. Tristan, I completely understand. Hold up here. All right, we got some breaking news during the show today. It seems like, Slizzik, if you're still in the chat, you'll be pretty excited. The Packers have worked out 2 kickers, which is interesting. Chad Ryland and Lucas Haversick. Both kickers they have worked out today. So we shall see what transpires with that one. Tristan, back to your question. I'm not sold on this defense, and I understand that. You give up 28 points in the first half. Doesn't matter how it happened, how it went down. Now you do throw in a short field with Jordan Love's interception. They ended up scoring on. Obviously did not help our case, but the first drive was so frustrating to watch. They marched down the field, scored with ease, and boom, right away it's 7-0. During that drive, Isaiah McDuffie had an interception bounce off his chest. You just have to come down with that. It would have been a completely different game if he would have just caught the interception. So I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? But I get it. If you're not sold in the defense, I completely understand that. I can't say I am either. The turnovers, though, are coming in bunches so far this year, and I will take that. So, Nick, what is the biggest news you've ever broken live on your show? I can't really say that I've broken any huge news or that big news. Any big news points have been broken while I've been live. I typically am live like earlier in the morning, but it's my birthday today, so had some other plans this morning. Hanging out with the fam, getting some coffee and whatnot. So since it is my birthday today, I am going live a little later. But like I said, I usually do the live shows in the morning. Typically, not a whole lot of news is broken around then. I was pretty close. I was on air about a half an hour before the Davante Adams trade news did break. So did the show. Then I got the news that Davante Adams is being traded to the Raiders. Hop back on the show. So if I would have just waited like 30 minutes, that would have worked out perfect. Nick, happy birthday, Rob. Appreciate it. Phil, happy birthday, Rob. Appreciate you guys. It has been an absolute awesome birthday so far. Best one yet. Cheers to 29. All right, guys. That is going to do it for me today as far as the show goes. As far as the content, you know I say it all the time. It never stops. Always posting anything and everything related to the Packers on all the socials at GVP Daily. Please give me a follow. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I am everywhere. Always posting stuff related to the Packers. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. I'll be back and at it again tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing you guys then. And until then, I will catch you guys later. Thank you.